Well, you look for that normalcy being fall, finishing camp, having an opener here in September. So, we haven't done this for, it's been 2 years ago. So to be doing it, I'm excited.
From a preparation standpoint, how do you think this fall has gone, considering everything that you went through in spring? I'm sure the game experience is super valuable, but there were so many teams that were sacrificing games with the thought of preparing for fall. Do you think you're better prepared because of the spring, or do you think it made it more difficult to get ready for the fall because of the spring?
No, I'll always say it was a positive for us, just to get the experience to go play football games. You only get better by playing, so by playing and really going and understanding, kind of what it takes to win in the Missouri Valley. I think that was important. It helped in our recruiting, what we need to do to close those gaps in recruiting a 22 class and being able to have football camps and, evaluating and understanding what we're going against and what we need to be successful for years to come.
Hey, Doug, what are you doing at quarterback? I know on the depth chart you got two guys listed. Has Mark moved to H-back? Kind of give us an update where that's at.
Yeah, Mark is too good of a football player not to play somewhere on the football field. So, we have the opportunity to do a lot with him. And I think we're, moved in that direction where, he's too good. And we believe as a football player, he can help us win a lot of football games in the future. We still have, 48 plus hours. We still have 1 day left. So, with Joe and with Demetric, they both had a great summer camp. They both competed well. And, on Thursday night, you'll see who takes that field.
Whoever ends up getting the start on Thursday, is it fair to say we could see all three of these guys throughout the season, or are you really looking to lock in on one guy and develop one quarterback?
I think it's hard splitting reps. We kind of did that in the spring, and it's hard getting, one guy ready to play football, nonetheless two. So we went through this camp and everyone had the opportunity and all that to compete. But when you get to it, you got to give reps to one person more than the other. And so when we're starting the season, that's kind of our mindset.
What did Demetric do to kind of put himself in this position?
Well, I think in the spring, you're a freshman coming in. It's a COVID year. He'll be the first to say that maybe he didn't come in the best of shape, so that puts you behind, And then this summer, he dropped 15 pounds. He worked hard in the weight room, was one of our strongest kids in the weight room and, got himself ready. And, we knew he had, talent just from running the scout team, but I think physically, mentally, socially just grew. I think it's always hard for a freshman to come in and, got no reps in the spring. And, this summer had opportunities to show what he can do on the football field.
You made some other changes. Tavius is now a cornerback or a DB. Take us through that as well and the others.
Well, we try to put your best football players and you try to find where you can get them on the football field. And, so you're moving different people around, different pieces. Do you want someone sitting behind three players and maybe get 5-10 reps a game, or can they go help somewhere else where they might get 20 reps a game? So ultimately, as a head coach, you want to put your best 22 football players on the football field, and if that means sometimes changing a position to give them the opportunity, those are the decisions sometimes we got to make. We do, but the one thing we still are missing, it's great playing a lot of young guys, which we did. It gave them great game experience, but I still look forward to having a true off season where we can develop their strength, because in the league we play, that's the one thing that is evident. You might have a young guy that has had a shortened weight room period. So the strength issue is something that, we're going to continue to work on. We've tried to close the gap in the 2 months from the last time we played football. But, to really get big and strong, you need that true off season. So, yes, from a game experience point, yes, we played a lot of young guys, but we still got to do a great job of developing them, whether it's in the weight room or on the football field fundamentally.
What's your biggest concern heading into Thursday's game? You talked about coming off the spring, not a full off season, 10 games on the schedule, so that's a full boat again.
Yeah, I don't know concerns. I kind of get more excited to see that the work we put in, what can we do? I think always you see what you see in practice, but until you go against, our guys are tired of going against each other. They're excited that they get to go against an opponent. And I'm more excited to see that the work put in, how's it look? And then, we got to make our tweaks and adjustments after that.
Facing a pretty good quarterback, too.
Real good quarterback. I mean, he's very productive. He got the best freshman football player in the FCS last season, does a great job, buying time back there. He can run, but he wants to throw the ball, so he'll buy time until receivers, and it's always difficult. We can maybe cover you for 4 seconds, but when you start scrambling, that's when he can really hurt you.
They had 6 receivers with at least 15 receptions last season. When a team can spread it like that, what challenge does it give your defense?
Gives you a lot. So, the one thing, they make throwing the football look easy. They really do. And they're going to try to throw it 60 times a game. And then they got a great run. I think they got a great running back in the Brown young man. I think he's explosive. I think he's one of the better running backs we'll face this year. I could put him in the top 4 running backs in our league. So not only can they hurt you throwing the football, and Farrell, number 12, he's real scary. They're going to run a lot of screens. They run screens so you can't blitz them. And then when you don't blitz them, the quarterback buys time so he can find open receivers. So, it's going to be a great challenge for our defense, great challenge for our young men, to try to limit their possessions and try to keep them out of the end zone.
This team is obviously used to being in shootouts. How do your guys respond? How do you approach it as coaches? Do you enjoy challenges like this where you see teams that are this high powered on offense? Or are you more of a defensive coach, like we'd rather keep this score low?
No, I think, no. I mean, we got to score points. I mean, going into, probably sitting down after the spring season, we got to learn to and work on trying to score 28 points, 30 points a game. And, they average, Incarnate Word averages 42 points a game. But, for us to be successful in the style of football we got to play in our league, that if you can score 28, 30 points a game, you got to, touchdowns wins games. Field goals aren't going to win you a game. This Thursday, field goals aren't going to cut it. You got to be able to score touchdowns. So offensively, we had to look at that, evaluate it, and find a better way of doing things than maybe we did in the spring. I would say in the spring we didn't have a true camp. It was our young men learning a new offense. So I think having summer, having camp, and that's what I'm most excited to see is the progress and the growth we made from the spring offensively.
Just back to Mark for a second. How does that conversation take place? Does he come to you and say, "Hey, I want to try something"? You go to him. How does that kind of work?
Sometimes and we talk about it. Leadership is sometimes being comfortable in uncomfortable situations, both sides. Sometimes in life you got to have talks that you got to have a conversation maybe that somebody may not want to have or may not want to hear. But ultimately what we're trying to do is build a good team. All week we stress great players don't win games. Great teams win games. And we're here to build teams. We're here to build a program. And you specifically said a player, but it's not just one player. It's 128 players that we are trying to find the right place to be a great football team. And sometimes those are going to be tough conversations, but we got to be honest. We got to try to put our best players on the football field. I never want to see someone standing on the sidelines that I believe can help us win football games. So those conversations, if those are the worst conversations I got to have, then, I've had a pretty good day or a good week.
Getting starting spots this week. How were they able to kind of come in and make an immediate impact on the offense?
Well, we needed to. If you had a concern coming out of spring, it probably was, not giving our guys enough opportunities downfield to go catch the football. And then, we wanted to upgrade our wide receiver room, just like we upgraded our running back room. We upgraded our tight end room. So we wanted to make sure we upgraded, and we wanted to compete. We wanted to bring young men in here that not only are they competing, to get on the field at their position, but, competing each day in practice. So bringing in George Porter-Real, he had a lot of experience from Lehigh. He had yardage coming from Lehigh. So, he was proven that, he could produce on the field, and he's provided great leadership for us. CJ Charleston's going to be a great football player for us. You may not have seen it in the spring, but I think as we go along and we grow as a program, you're going to see number 2 make a lot more plays for us downfield. We have Sam St. Cyrin back. You didn't see him in the spring, so he's fully recovered from his injury, and just having his leadership, his energy on the field, his positive energy has lifted up that room. And then we brought in a transfer, Bryce Oliver from Kentucky, who adds just athleticism and ability to go up and get the football.